Hey guys, and welcome to another video of Saute with the Java. I'm your host and chef Dushan, a certified pastry chef. Today I bring to you a recipe which is loved by a lot of people, especially in Mumbai. I'm going to be making the Ladi Pav. It's famously used for Vada Pav and Pav Bhaji in Mumbai. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. It's pretty simple, just basic bread ingredients, and you shall be able to make it at home. Also, I have this amazing tip lined up for you at the end of the video. So I would request if you could watch the video throughout till the end and also enjoy the tip, which would help you in baking. So let's start with the recipe. To begin this recipe, let's check out the ingredients. So firstly, we would be requiring 500 grams of all-purpose flour. We would require 6 grams of instant yeast, 30 grams of milk powder, 50 grams of melted butter. This is at room temperature and is unsalted, 10 grams of salt, 20 grams of fine granulated white sugar, 350 ml of full fat milk. You can also replace this with water if you like. To begin the recipe, in our stand mixer bowl, we will sieve our all-purpose flour. This helps in aerating the mixture and basically providing a lot of air into our flour. Next, we'll be adding in the sugar, the salt, milk powder, again it should be sifted, sifting milk powder is very important as this is the ingredient which makes a lot of lumps into the dough, and we wouldn't want that. So and finally the yeast. We will give the dough a good mix. You can use any spatula or a whisk if you prefer. Make sure you mix it until the deep end of the bowl. I have attached the bowl to my stand mixer, and now I'll start my mixer on a medium speed and mix the dough a bit with the hook attachment. So I have grabbed the milk now, and I will be adding it gradually to the dough when it is mixing with the stand mixer. So here it goes. Now you need to make it a point not to add all the milk at once. You would want to add it a little by little to see how much your flour absorbs. So don't add all at once. Give it some time and keep adding it every now and then to see how the dough reacts. So I have just a little bit of milk left. So at this stage I will start incorporating the milk as well as the butter, which we have already melted. Okay, so as you can see that the dough has incorporated well already, but now we'll have to knead it for a bit for the gluten to get generated. So on a medium speed for at least around 5 to 7 minutes. As you can see that the dough is becoming super elastic, and see I can pull it very nicely. This is also one criteria which shows that the dough is ready. Now I will pull it out of the dough, and as usual for bread I would be massaging it on the counter, on a greased counter for a bit. But as you can see, this dough is very beautiful. It's pale white, beautiful color and beautiful texture. So I'll just pull it out on the counter now. Okay, so I'm greasing the kitchen counter a bit and also greasing my fingers, and now I will just pull out the dough from the bowl. Now I will gently massage it. It shouldn't stick to the counter, but if it does, please add a little bit of oil, but very little, not too much. Okay, so the dough has been nicely massaged. Now I will pull in the corners nicely. Pinch it well. Turn it around. Prepare a nice and firm boule or a dough ball. Alright, so this is done, ready. Now I will just take this in my hand. I have my bowl which is readily greased, and just place it inside. I can grab this and keep it aside for at least 45 minutes. Since this dough has milk, it will require a little longer time since milk's density is a little more. So you would require a little bit more time for this to rise. So let it rise, give it some time, let it rest well, and let it double nicely, and then we'll come back with this. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes and the dough has risen. So now I will just pull it out from the bowl and put it on the greased kitchen counter. Once the dough has risen, you would realize that you would get a very sour smell, like an alcoholic smell basically. This means that your dough has risen well and that you have got enough carbon dioxide and alcohol produced by the yeast. Okay, so now I have pressed this nice, released the excess gas, and now I will just roll it into a nice and tight log. First things first, I am taking a measuring scale and I will see how much this dough weighs. It weighs around 1 kilo if I would be correct. So I need around 21 to 22 pieces. So I would divide it accordingly. So now first, creating the log. So there we have it. This is our log which is ready. Okay, so after measuring with the measuring scale, I would need around 44 grams each as the dough ball. So I will cut each and every dough to 44 grams. Okay, I think this shall be better. Too big. Okay, so this is very time consuming, but if you want to have perfect paos of the same size, you can measure each and every dough ball and make a round. If you do not prefer that, you can just eyeball it and do it. So I'm just tightening the dough, and as you can see, it's a tight dough ball. So I will just take any tray, whatever tray you have. I prefer taking square trays. So I've already greased this and I'm going to place this here. That way I will fill up the whole tray with 9 buns and I'll let it rise for another 45 minutes. Alrighty, so as you can see, I have placed these nicely in the trays I require. Now I would let these rise for another half an hour to 45 minutes, or at least until they have doubled. Since my measurements are such, I have got small dough rounds. If you want, you can take bigger measurements and that will give a big fluffed pao. So it's all upon you how much of a measure you want to take. I required a certain number of pieces, so I have done smaller rounds, but we'll let them rise and we'll get them to an optimum size. So now I would be putting these in a non-preheated, just an open oven, and I will just switch on the light for a minimal heat that is coming out from the light inside the oven, and let it rise. So that's how the Ladi Pavs are made. It would be notable that these can be used as soft dinner rolls and dinner buns as well. It's not limited to an Indian cuisine food, and it would go very well with other cuisines as well. Now for the pro tip that I promised at the beginning of the video. Salt and yeast are not friends, so be sure not to add a lot of salt to your flour while making the dough, as this suppresses the action of the yeast and doesn't let it grow. I hope you enjoyed the tip. Do share your comments in the comment box below, and you can also follow me on Instagram with my Instagram handle at dush_java. I put in a lot of behind the scenes videos on my stories, and I also like to interact with my followers every now and then to know what recipes you would prefer for me to put on my YouTube channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video.